Good day, good afternoon, good evening, and Happy New Year. Guess who's going into 2024 sick? This girl. Hence why there hasn't been an upload. I apologize. I meant to only take just the 2 days off for Christmas, and then I ended up getting incredibly sick. I'm still not feeling all that great, but last year I did a reflecting on 2022. I want to react to that, and then I want to reflect on 2023. I don't know, I know a lot of you weren't here for my reflecting on 2022 video, but 2022 was a very rough year for myself, so I'm gonna prepare myself. I don't know how ready for this video I am. 2022 was rough. 2023 was terrible as well, but we'll get into that after.
Happy New Year, everyone! Because it's the new year, I wanted to reflect on 2022 and the chaotic roller coaster that year was for me. So, I'm going to start at the beginning of the year, which was amazing. Chris and I had just moved into our first home together, and that also meant that we blended his 5 dogs in with my 1 dog. So that gave us 6 beautiful babies in one roof, and they got along better than we could have ever hoped. It was so amazing watching them interact. Hennessy has never had a lively spirit like she does with her now siblings, and we're one big happy blended family. So we learned real quick home ownership, what that meant,
This feels like so long ago. I really thought that we were going on 3 years because this year has just been so much. And if you guys noticed, I said 6 dogs, and some of you may have caught on to the fact that we adopted Ripley, and I have a feeling I talk in this video about Munster, so I'll let past Ashley go through that detail, but we did end up adopting Ripley this year, which was so amazing. He is a remarkable psychotic little being, and I wouldn't trade him for the entire world.
To do in order to make sure that our home stays in perfect condition, especially with 6 dogs, that means eventually our floors will need to be redone. I have been trying to research into some better
Our floors still need to be redone.
Pet options when it comes to floors. Right now we have hardwood everywhere, and it's been pretty good. It's a nightmare to keep clean because it's so light, so in the future we would like to make it a darker wood, but I mean, we vacuum the house every day. I try to mop like every other day, so it isn't too bad. But so moving into the house wasn't a huge struggle. We actually all 8 of us acclimated so well to one another. Fast forward to May, our dog Munster, his health really started to decline. We had found out in May of 2021 that he had hip dysplasia, and it seems almost like it's been a lot longer without him than it actually has. It's realistically only been since May. But in May of 2022, we had to make the decision to put him down. His quality of life had severely started dwindling, and when we went to the vet, the woman who came out,
Oh, I'm sorry. I knew this this part was going to be rough to get through. There's going to be quite a bit of cuts here cuz it's not easy. It's really not easy, and it really sucks without him. And I knew this part of the video was going to be really hard to watch, but he's part of the reason that I started doing the vlogs with the kids, because life is too short, and that ensured that I spent time with the kids and I got to vlog with the kids, and then I got to edit it back and rewatch the clips of the kids. So it like felt like I was divvying extra time up focusing on my dogs and okay. Okay, regained my composure a little bit. I knew this part of the video was going to be really hard because I didn't get nearly enough time with Munster and I wanted more time with him.
She looked at Munster. She was so attentive to him. You could tell she really cared about her job, and she could tell that we didn't care about the cost. We were going to find a way to get him the help that he needed. So she basically told us that at this point, yes, he may still be eating, but the best they could do for him was to get him back to what he would have been like a week ago. And then after that, one of us would have to quit our jobs, and we would be battling to just get him to that week ago. And I've cried so much today thinking about how I was going to talk about this in the video, because it was the worst decision we've ever had to make, and it was so hard. It was so painful. And I'll insert a couple cute photos of Munster and some videos of him just being his perfect self.
Oh man.
I remember us saying bye to him in that vet office, and
I'm gonna cut a lot to try and compose myself because this is really rough, and that was really rough to watch for myself. Oh gosh, last year wasn't great. This year wasn't great. Next year's gonna be great. This coming up year is going to be great. It's gotta be. It's gotta be.
and then a few months after that, my grandma got really sick. I'm not gonna go into it. I'm not gonna go into that because that is not my story to tell. I can only tell it from my side, and she was able to make a full recovery, and she is back to her normal self. She is happy. She is living her best life, and I couldn't be more grateful for her. She is such a rock. She is amazing. My dad and my mom also had a couple of health issues and things like that throughout the year, so 2022 was definitely a roller coaster as far as emotions go, and I'll be honest, the whole year is kind of a blur at this point. Chris and I almost adopted a sixth dog. That almost happened. I just told him yesterday that I'm so glad we didn't. I don't think either of us were ready for that, but we are so happy with our 5, and we love our 5 so much. And in the future we may adopt a 6th, but it wasn't in the cards for us with that situation, which is perfectly okay. I don't want a year like 2022 again. I don't want to have to say goodbye to somebody I love again. But I am so grateful for the good memories. I'm so grateful that Munster got to live in our house for the time that he got, and he got to experience it. He got his favorite place on the ground. He got to have fun, and he loved the backyard, and I know that it was the best decision for him, but it hurts. And I don't think it'll get easier. And I know that I'm gonna miss him every day, and I do miss him every day, and it's really hard to talk about him without crying. But I want to talk about him. I love him to pieces. He was a 150-pound Malamute. And he knew he was 150 pounds, and he would use that to his advantage. He was absolutely perfect. I look forward to a lot of happiness in 2023. I look forward to uploading a lot more videos. I look forward to maybe trying out live stream. And I look forward to getting to know you guys. Like, seeing the comments and getting to interact with you guys has been so much fun, especially like the past couple of weeks has just been eye-opening to how much I really do love doing this. So I want to continue and I want to try, and I'm having a blast, and I hope you guys are enjoying the content that I'm producing. So I guess next year what I'm really looking forward to is spending more time with Chris, spending more time with our beautiful dogs, and uploading videos. And of course, spending time with my family. That's something I did for the first time in 2022. That's actually really happy. I hosted Thanksgiving for my family. It was the first time I had ever hosted a holiday for my family. I cooked dinner, I made the snacks, I made the desserts, I went the whole 9 yards. And they seemed to really love it. Chris also found my mom and my sister these 2 Great Dane puppies.
So 2022 was rough. I'm going to start with the earliest good big thing that happened. We did adopt Ripley. We adopted him about April, and it is so funny that there are just some little quirks that he has that are very similar to Munster. It is uncanny and shocking. And Chris and I, we made this deal because we always knew we were going to keep adopting dogs, because just quite frankly, there's so many dogs in the world that need homes, and if we can give a dog a home and a shelter and a place to be happy, then we will do that. But we have came to the realization that 6 is our max. We are going to be financially conscious of this. We can afford 6 dogs happily. So we are not going to bring in a 7th that we could not give the life that they deserve. So we're very realistic of that idea. But our deal we made for one another was that we were not going to adopt a dog until we could talk about Munster without crying. Speaking of him, a picture of him just popped up on my 3rd monitor, and he's so handsome. Such a handsome boy. It started getting easier talking about him. I can't even say getting easier, because it's not easier talking about him. And occasionally I do still cry. But most of the memories I look back on happy I got to experience those with him. Ripley is so much like Munster was, and it is the funniest thing in the world because that boy does not give a crud, just like Munster did not give a crud. He don't care if you're in his way, he will mow right through you to get to where he has to go. Shortly after we adopted Ripley, if you guys have been following the channel, Hennessy started collapsing. She only had 2 bad collapses, but we rushed her to the hospital. She was diagnosed with IMHA. I did end up dabbling in some live streaming, and that was around the time that she got sick. She actually collapsed, and I had to end a stream because she collapsed. So happy to say that she is in remission for that. She is healthy for that. It has put us in debt. I think we spent upwards, and this is just a rough estimate, and quite frankly, there's no dollar amount you can put that I would put down on my dogs, but currently we've spent $16,000, roughly around there, I don't know the exact number, to ensure her health. And if you ask me if I regret it, I'll tell you no. No, because my girl fought. My girl battled, she rose above this, and she is back to her normal, happy, wonderful, crazy self, but it was a long, long journey. I had to stop recording gameplay because she needed my undivided attention. We were giving her medicine 3-4 times a day, sometimes 4 to 5, 6 pills a day, all at different intervals, trying to battle this disease. And if you guys don't know what IMHA is, I recommend researching it because it comes out of nowhere, it hits like a truck, and it is a roller coaster. And it is not something to take lightly. There was a lot of tears, a lot of emotions, a lot of anger at myself for not knowing and for none of us knowing, when a lot of times IMHA goes diagnosed, but not knowing why. In Hennessy's case, we don't know what caused her IMHA. We can speculate all day, but we have no idea. That girl fought. She fought as hard as she could to get through that, and I am so happy to say that her next and hopefully last for a long time vet appointment is February 2nd. She hasn't had a vet appointment since November. If you guys remember, she was going to the vet twice, sometimes 3 times a week. And we're going months now. Like, that is a victory and a half for her. I wouldn't do anything over. I'd spend the money a million times over. I'd dig and find and scrounge and figure out where I could get the money if it meant I got 2-3 jobs. Unfortunately, the gaming videos had to be put on hold, so I started uploading vlogs and shorts of the dogs and things of that nature. And when Hennessy's health started getting a little bit better and I didn't have to helicopter over her so much, she started getting more freedom to get to be a dog again. Which she still doesn't, she may never have a completely normal dog life experience. Like, if we take her out to places we've never been and places we don't know, she has to be on a muzzle. She has to be checked for fleas or ticks constantly. Which, you should check your dogs for fleas or ticks constantly, especially if you live in an area. But in her case, a flea or a tick can trigger reemission. So she just needs this constant attention, and I'm willing to give that to her. But she started getting back to her normal self, and the vet started to wanting us to let her do more things, like being taken outside off a leash, being able to run, being able to play. So we were doing all of that slowly and steadily, and I started to get more time back. And I knew I never wanted to full-time vlog. I enjoyed vlogging. I had a lot of fun with it, and I loved doing the vlogs of the kids. It was so much fun. I started this channel because I love gaming, and I had stopped playing video games. And I don't regret stopping playing video games for my dogs. I don't think I could ever regret that. But when I started getting more time back, I started missing gaming. I started missing playing games, and I started not wanting to vlog because I didn't want to plan my days out to do things. And I didn't want to shove a camera in the dogs' faces, because if you watched any of my vlogs or any of my shorts of the dogs, I don't do anything staged with them. I'm not going to. My dogs aren't circus performers, and quite frankly, they have attitudes of all hell, like they're huskies. I'm not forcing them to do nothing they don't want to do. It's hard enough to force them to do things they do want to do. You know how I had to have an argument with Lily last week for about 5 minutes where she just huffed at me because she didn't want to eat her food, had no interest in her food whatsoever. And instead of just eating or even just walking away from the bowl, every time I walked away from the bowl, I heard, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that information. That tells me nothing. You're a dog, I'm a human. We don't speak the same language. But you're clearly unhappy about the dinner you've been served that you don't work for. Who am I to judge, though? So I jumped back into gaming, and I have had a blast with it. Another amazing thing that happened, Chris and I in June, we got engaged. which was amazing and phenomenal, and I'm so happy. We did agree to have a longer engagement, which is why there isn't quite a bit of wedding footage and things going on with the wedding, because our wedding isn't until 2025. And quite frankly, we have to save up money for that. Weddings aren't cheap. I'm learning that very quickly. So, a lot of saving up money. I can tell you my sister is making my bouquet, flowers, arrangement of flowers that I carry down aisle. She's making that, and I'm so excited for it. She is doing it out of fake floral, so that way I can keep it forever and it not get dried or ruined. And so I'm super excited about that. This year was rough. This year was really rough, and I am determined that 2024 is going to be my year. It is going to be a good year. I don't care what happens. I do care what happens. I don't want any health scares in 2024 whatsoever. I just want, which is ironic because I'm going into it with nasal congestion, sickness, but I want a good year. And if that is just me uploading sporadically, then so be it. Like I tell you guys, subscribe, hit the bell notification so that way you get notified when I upload. That is the best way to know when I'm going to upload content. I work full time. I want to do this daily, but there's not enough hours in the day. So I'm doing my best here, and I'm going to continue to do my best. And I look forward to another year of playing so many games, maybe planning out some vlogs, maybe doing some shorts of the kids. I have a video idea for me and Chris to do, which I guess I kind of formally have to introduce you guys to my fiance. So maybe eventually I'll do that. I don't know. But I have an idea, and it's kind of a game. He and I are going to do that. I look forward to doing. I just have to get off my lazy butt and actually make the props for it. But yeah. But I'm so excited for 2024. I have so many plans. I have so much stuff I want to do, and we're going to do it. It's going to be amazing. We're going to do it. 2024 is going to be my year. I am going to work my butt off in 2024. With all of that being said, I hope you guys are having a wonderful start to your year. How was your 2023? Let me know down in the comments. I really want to know. What are you looking forward to in 2024? Did you have a rough 2023 and you want to make 2024 your year with me? Because that would be amazing. I want a good year. These last 2 years have been so rough. This year, I'm determined to make a good year. I'm doing what I can to just manifest that out into the universe. I want 2024 to be a good year. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you guys so much for being on this journey with me. I can't wait for the memories that we will create. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe and hit that bell notification so that way you're notified whenever I upload a video. And as always, I hope you all have a beautiful day, beautiful afternoon, and a wonderful evening, and I will see you in 2024. Bye, guys.